Making a video in my car is not something I would typically do, but I'm just reflecting right now on a lot of different things. And I'm just comfy right here, not gonna lie. One of the I think the first YouTube video I ever made. Yeah, I think the first YouTube video I ever made was about me buying my house, and a lot of shit has changed and happened since then. So I just want to give an update on all those things. So at 23 years old, I bought a house. Let's fix this camera angle a little bit. This is terrible. So at 23 years old, I bought a house. It was honestly an amazing feat to accomplish after being homeless since I was about 13 years old. I just didn't have the most functional, structured family growing up, and I was on my own very, very young. It was not easy at all, but being in that situation gave me a lot of drive, and it pushed me to work a lot. So I was working multiple jobs, working on my credit, getting so much done, to be at a point where I could put down a payment on a house at 23. So I've never actually rented anything myself. I mean, I've rented out like bedrooms at friends' houses. I had an apartment or a studio for a little while, but it wasn't my name on the lease. I was basically subletting from somebody. I was giving someone the rent to pay the rent, which was a friend, so I knew I was paying a really good price to be in the Bay Area in California, to be in Berkeley and Oakland, having somewhere to stay for pretty damn cheap, and it was good for a long while. But then I bought a house at 23 years old, and it was good for a bit. It was good for a little while. I ended up starting my streams, starting content, made my first YouTube video where I talked about buying a home so young, and it was awesome. But all within a year, all within the span of a year, my mother had passed, which I didn't have the closest connection with her. I didn't get to spend as much time with her as I did as some of my siblings. But I mean, they're also just my half siblings, I guess, as I have a different father than they do. But I didn't get much structure from either side of my family growing up at all. When she passed, though, it still weighed on me for the fact of I was always trying to reconnect with my mom. I was always trying to be there for her and help her out. Though there just seemed to be some kind of stalemate with that relationship. I was always feeling like I was resented for whatever reasons, right? But in that same year, I had some horrible tenants, and then I had a really good tenant. I had a friend renting out one of my bedrooms, and he passed away. I ended up finding him in my home. He was a pretty straight-edge kid. He was a really good dude. He streamed, he worked on shoes and sold them on social media. He would paint them and do custom shoe designs for people on his streams, sell them to people on social media. He worked a construction job, and he was just he was the oldest sibling out of his family, and he had a really loving big family. It was something I envied, honestly, in a loving way. It was something that I looked at, and I just thought he was so lucky to have that. And unfortunately, I found him passed away in my house. So with my mother passing, with COVID going absolutely crazy and shutting down businesses, I lost my job. My friend passed away in my house. I had people around me that were just trying to take from me all the time, trying to weigh me down, stressing me out, because I happen to be more of the person in charge of since I was the landlord at the property while living there. Not just a roommate, but out of any person living there, I am so happy I was the landlord, because I was someone who I felt like was always fair, and I was trying to help other people balance and save money and give them advice and actually be there to bring people up. But they didn't they didn't care to be there for me, which was unfortunate. Aaron Thomas, who passed away, was the roommate that I found, who was the best roommate and tenant and person I had in my home when I was a homeowner. It was honestly truly amazing to have someone I vibed with so much, wanting to play video games together. He's the reason I started streaming. Even he's the reason why I've gotten myself so much further into content. So it has been a long while since I made my first YouTube video. I kind of stopped making as much YouTube because I just started streaming nonstop. But also, I was working crazy hours and trying to hold the house down. So it just felt easier to stream, and I found a lovely community of people. All the people here in Vibonics Discord and the people who have been showing up to the Twitch streams, to the YouTube content, are genuinely the best friends I've had in my life. But after my house, let me backtrack a little bit. So during the COVID time, I lost the job. I did need some help from some of the friends, and I had to ask them to make sure I just even could have anything to eat, basically. Like, they were full blown being every support system that I needed in my life. And I hate asking people for stuff, I really do. But having that kind of support factor, having people to make sure I was okay so I could at least get back on my feet and started working and getting a job. By the time I had a job again and I was able to sit there and keep paying the mortgage and getting things done, I just realized I didn't want to. I didn't want to sit there with a job that paid me enough to just basically pay a mortgage, work every single day, not save anything for myself, and be in a constant situation of just having to work myself to death to pay bills so I can maybe own a property in 40 years, 30 years, I think was the mortgage timing of that. And it just didn't seem worth it at all. And so I had the idea while I was living in that house to start putting together some kind of path for me to be living and traveling at the same time. I really wanted to figure out some kind of trailer studio and go visit people, stream, only have to work part-time, and I'm glad I got myself in that. I really am. But the thing that was not easy was figuring out how to get my life off grid, and I've definitely made some mistakes with it along the way. So right now I am living fully off the grid with solar generators, with a trailer that I paid off after getting out of my home, which has been really nice at moments. But as a first time off the grid nomad, right? I've been homeless my whole life, but I've never had just a trailer or a van life situation. And getting into the van life or trailer and RV lifestyle for the first time, there is so many different things that I did not think of. Of course, there's so much you have to learn right off the bat. Just knowing how to set up, just knowing what kind of solar you'll even need for what kind of things you do in your day-to-day life. Personally, I love to play games, I love to work on music, I love to stream, and all of those things require having a good computer, consistent power consumption, and so many different variables that you're not going to really know exactly what you need until you know exactly how much you stream, how much you're on your computer, what kind of things you're doing on your computer, etc. But yeah, I would say I have a good list of things that not necessarily I would redo, but maybe a list of pros and cons. Pros and cons from getting into this nomad life to what I would have done differently and what I think people should do if they're interested in getting into a traveling lifestyle at all, or if there's pros out there that have been doing it for a while, things that they probably felt themselves. Because not being set up properly is absolutely devastating. And yeah, I'm sorry if I look a little tired right now. I have been up all night just in fear that my trailer was going to get blown over or roll off the jacks again and take any kind of damage falling into the ditch I'm next to, which has not been easy. All night, the wind has been so fierce out here. It's been to a point where I stayed up, or I got up again right after falling asleep around midnight, 1 in the morning, just to throw cinder blocks all around my trailer to make sure that it wouldn't roll that much more. Because the plastic little chuck blocks, oh, I actually have them here. These little plastic chuck blocks that I have under the tires, I'm surprised this one's not cracked, but yeah, the majority of those are absolutely destroyed just from the weight of the trailer rolling back on them so hard and so much from the wind just beating down on my trailer overnight, that I genuinely felt that I could be at risk of getting hurt, falling, if my whole trailer fell into this ditch, which it actually did a few days ago. So we towed it out. Overall, everything is fine. There's a little bit of water damage and spillage from all the movement, but the trailer is good. All my solar stuff is fine. Luckily for me, I strapped down my computer, and all my other stuff is in kind of like a cubby, or like my entertainment system by my bed is at least embedded enough so it didn't go flying. But it has not been easy, that's for sure. I think I'm getting hungry. But just with all the things I've experienced with this lifestyle as of recent and what I've gotten myself into compared to where I have been, I definitely have a good list of pros and cons to go over. So I'm going to start doing a lot more content on just my lifestyle, what I've experienced, what my next plans are, and also just streaming more. Right now I am working full time, and I've just gotten to the point where I've realized I don't need to work full time and absolutely destroy myself and my health, my mental health, and give up all of my time to just save up some money, which it is nice to have some cash. It is nice to have some income flow consistently, but now that I have the generators that I need, my bed, my internet, everything around that, I really don't need to be sitting here working myself to death for no reason. Like, I mean, I don't have crazy high bills to pay, which is, of course, one of the things on the list of pros and cons. But I don't have crazy high bills to pay. I am in a situation where things are a lot better, and I'm at a point now where I can travel wherever I want. I can stream and make some kind of funds through that to survive, which is amazing. But I ultimately can just have any part-time job and make more than enough, not just to survive, but to still save money every single month, which is really awesome. The main thing, though, is I want to try to get back towards the cities. I would really like to be back in the Bay Area in California and Los Angeles. And so if I'm going to get myself out there, I definitely need to switch this setup. It's not bad, but living in a trailer that I live in now is just too big for city parking. You can't just park anywhere you want without bringing attention to yourself and pulling in some kind of negative situation to yourself. If you want to be able to go into any cities and live comfortably and not really be bugged or harassed, you kind of need to be more in a situation of van life or stealth truck camping, where you see people have those like smaller U-Haul trucks and they customize them out to be full-fledged like livable studios. If you're not in a situation like that, you're not going to be able to be in a city for very long if you have a trailer. It just puts you in a situation where you're going to have to find somewhere to park and somewhere to move to, which isn't the worst thing. But if you're trying to maintain some kind of connection with people close, be in somewhat of a populated area where things are close by, and be able to just live wherever you want, a trailer life is definitely not the thing you want to be in. So that's my next goal, is to figure out how to get from this trailer that I have now to get into more of a van life situation, because I have been following amazing content creators like Trent the Traveler and a few other people that I'll probably link in a video that have really inspired me to do it the right way. And so one of the main things I've realized, even after having this trailer, not even just this trailer, but one thing I realized after having a house is that I barely used the house. I just would go to my bedroom and work on content, play video games, and just try to relax after working so much. And now after having this trailer, I realized the same thing. I have too much space that I don't even use, and I need to downsize. So the best thing that I could do is sell this trailer, sell this car, and get myself into a better situation that's going to be even that much more freeing, with having a van set up, with having a studio built into that van, with just having all the little things that I need to be able to survive that much more. But that's another hurdle I'm going to have to tackle. So many of these people that make content in a van life situation, they have a whole full-blown workshop. They have a workshop they can be in to customize every part of a van, or truck or trailer that they're living in or traveling in. They have every single tool that they would possibly need. And I'm trying to do this starting out already in a trailer in the desert, which is not going to make it easy. So how does a person go from having minimal money, no workshop, to living in a fully fledged, customized Sprinter van or truck or RV that's an all-in-one living space that you can park in the cities and take wherever you want? That's the next goal that I'm going to have to figure out. And I don't know how easy that's going to be. But I guess I'm just recording this now because I want to really start taking initial steps. Sorry, I'm so tired, guys. I really want to start taking the initial steps that I need to take to start building and planning this out and get myself to a point where I really am living more efficiently, downsized, and can be wherever I want. I can travel better and easier, and I could just be a little bit more at ease and have some peace of mind knowing that I don't have to feel stuck, even in this trailer situation I'm in now, because I can't park in cities, because there's so many things that hinder me from being set up exactly where I want to be set up. I feel like I'm right back in that house. I'm stuck somewhere where I have to do nothing but work and save up money to get myself out of this rut. And right now, I might be able to work and save up money and not be as stuck, but it's still a situation that I don't want to be in. And I have been seeing how I've been using my space. And sure, I could take up a lot more space in that trailer for a much bigger desk, have more seating arrangements, have all kinds of things that would be awesome. But do I need that? The answer is I really don't. Because just hauling this thing around is so much extra gas. I don't know how long this car is going to last. And the situation that I'm in now, especially the work environment that I'm in now, the fact that I don't have to be there, I want to be there, but then I'm working with people I don't want to work with anymore, has absolutely dampened the experience of working for this company that I work for now. So, yeah, we have a lot of switch ups to make. Fun. But yeah. So I have some footage from last night. It was pouring rain and trailer was shaking viciously. It was to a point where I couldn't relax or get to sleep because it was rocking so much. All I could think of was I felt like I was either going to tip over, or I felt like, you guys hear that? Even now the wind is brutal out here, but last night it was horrendous. But yeah, I couldn't sleep. I was worried that my trailer could tip over if it rolled hard enough, or if it fell off the jacks. Or I was just worried about it rolling back again, which I guess now if it rolls back, it's going to hit all these pallets that are behind my trailer, and it's going to stop it from completely rolling over, or at least it should. But same thing could happen as last time, is that it gets a bit sideways and it crushes one of my tanks, or it just damages part of the framing, the wheel axle, pops a tire, anything like that. Because that's what happened on the back with my spare tire. It ran into these pallets and ran through them and fell down this ditch, completely popping and shredding up my spare tire for my trailer. Really not ideal. Really, really not ideal. So, definitely have a few things to figure out with this whole setup. But I have a plan, I have goals, and at the end of the day, I'm really efficient with getting jobs. I'm really efficient with working. I'm really efficient with getting myself out of a certain situation. So that's what I'm going to be working on next. The plan is to sell this trailer, possibly sell this car, get myself in a van life scenario or situation, and hopefully from there, be okay. Get myself into a scenario where I can travel, I can live, I can breathe, I can find my vape when I need it. Oh God. Yeah, that's what I need to do. I need to figure out how to get myself into more of a van life, build out my studio in the van, get my solar on it, get myself much more comfortable, and be able to relax. I definitely need to be able to relax. But one of the tough things is I need the funds to get the van. I can't sell this trailer or this car or both unless I have some kind of Sprinter van that I need to be able to be okay. So I got some people to contact. I have some errands to run. I have a job that I just applied for that is calling me in. I already did my interview. I just got to get a couple things done for them. So if the job I have now or the job I'm going into doesn't work out, I have backup plans. But I definitely need to get a couple things done today. So I'm going to see what I can get done. And maybe I can come back and fix up this trailer a bit. Clean a couple things up. And just go from there. So I'm going to go figure some things out. If you're a pro in this life, if you know a situation how you can, if you know a way that someone can situate themselves better in this kind of lifestyle, pros and tips, or if you're new into this life of being in a van style and traveling, let me know. Let me know what you're thinking of. Let me know what you're afraid of, because yeah, it's not easy, but hopefully you can get better from here.